Hi guys, Salted Word International Ministry, Slim for short. We're in Salted Word, Salted Samuel, first Salted Samuel, I should say. We just made it up to chapter 3. I wrapped that last one up in a bit of a hurry because I was so close to the end and, it was pretty self explanatory. Um, we're going to do Salted Samuel part 3 now. We're on chapter 3. And it says, The prophetic call to Samuel. Now the boy Samuel was attending to the service of the Lord before Eli, and word from the Lord was rare in those days. Visions were infrequent. I feel like we're stepping out of one of those into a season or a days where God is speaking much more so. And I feel like the people who have been in ministry for a little while, they're a little skeptical because it didn't happen to them or it may not be happening to them. But God is raising up people. He is speaking a lot more frequently. You can see it if you look around. And you should be trying to get in on that action and how God speaks to you through his word. So get in his word. But it happened at that time, as Eli was lying down in his place, now his eyesight had begun to be poor, and he could not see well. And the lamp of God had not yet gone out. And Samuel was lying down in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was, the ark of the covenant, what the Moses and the Israelites built in the desert. Where the ark of God was. That the Lord called to Samuel, and he said, Here I am. Then he ran to Eli and said, Here I am, for you called me. But he said, I did not call. Go back and lie down. So he went and lay down. And the Lord called yet again, Samuel. So Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for you called me. But he said, I did not call, my son. Go back and lie down. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, nor had the word of the Lord yet been revealed to him. So the Lord called Samuel again, and for the third time he got up and went to Eli, and said, Here I am, for you called me. Then Eli realized that the Lord was calling the boy. And Eli said to Samuel, Go lie down, and it shall be if he calls you, that you shall say, Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. I don't think I'd be able to sleep after that. I'd be like, God's talking to me? What? I'm about to hear from God? I'd be hyped. So it says he laid down. It doesn't say he went to sleep. So Samuel went then laid down in his place. Then the Lord came and stood and called as at the other times, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel said, Speak, for your servant is listening. Then the Lord said to Samuel, Behold, I am going to do a thing in Israel, and both ears of everyone who hears about it will ring. On that day I will carry out against Eli everything that I have spoken in regard to his house, from beginning to end. For I have told him that I am going to judge his house forever for the wrongdoing that he knew, because his sons were bringing a curse on themselves, and he did not rebuke them. Catch that. He did not rebuke them. He knew that they were doing wrong, but he didn't try to stop them. He said something to them, but he didn't rebuke them. You got to notice that. You can't just stand by. I mean, your portion is not to fix what they're doing, but you have to at least make the attempt. I mean, as a parent, you're supposed to fix what they're doing, but I'm guessing these were grown men. So you can't really force a grown man to do anything. I mean, he could have kicked them out. I'm sure there's a bunch of things. He could have punched them, but he didn't. Therefore, I have sworn to the house of Eli that the wrongdoing of Eli's house shall never be atoned for by sacrifice or offering. So Samuel lay down until morning. Then he opened the doors of the house of the Lord. But Samuel was afraid to tell the vision to Eli. Then Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. And he said, Here I am. He said, What is the word that he spoke to you? Please do not hide it from me. May God do the same to you, and more so, if you hide a single word from me of all the words that he spoke to you. So Samuel told him everything and hid nothing from him. And he said, He is the Lord. Let him do what seems good to him. Now Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and he let none of his words fail. And all Israel from Dan even to Beersheba knew that Samuel was confirmed as a prophet of the Lord. And the Lord appeared again to Shiloh, because the Lord had revealed himself to Samuel at Shiloh by the word of the Lord. Here we go. Now we're getting into the stuff, man. So this is chapter 4 now. So the word of the Lord, the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out to meet the Philistines in battle, and they camped beside Ebenezer, while the Philistines camped in Aphek. Then the Philistines drew up in battle formation to meet Israel. When the battle spread, Israel was defeated by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 men on the battlefield. Well, again, the Philistines were the people that the Israelites were meant to destroy. If they would have faithfully listened to God, if they would have faithfully followed God, God would have fulfilled what he told them to do. They did not. You don't hold up your end of the bargain. You can't hold it against God when he doesn't fulfill what he said he was going to do. You have a part to play. You don't play it, it don't happen. And there are consequences to be reaped. So these are the consequences. They're still fighting the Philistines. But there's a purpose in it. There's always a purpose in it. So just let's keep going. When the people came into the camp of the elders of Israel, the elders of Israel said, "Why has the Lord defeated us today before the Philistines? Let's take the ark of the covenant of the Lord from Shiloh, so that he may come among us and save us from the power of our enemies." Coming up with plans by yourself, not going to God, not asking why. Oh, we lost. Let's bring the ark of the covenant. So, they're coming up with their own plans. So the people sent men to Shiloh, and from there they carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord of armies, who is enthroned above the cherubim. The cherubim were like the things with the wings. They're like, I can't remember. I think they had like lion bodies, people faces, and the wings. You've seen pictures of it. If you ever see in any kind of movie or something with the Ark of the Covenant, it was the two things with the wings. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the Ark of the Covenant of God, because they had to have priests to carry it, to be with it, to attend to it. Priests, I'll call them. Levites, anyway. And as the ark of the covenant of the Lord was coming into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth resounded. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, "What does the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews mean?" Then they understood that the ark of the Lord had come into the camp. So the Philistines were afraid, for they said, "God has come into the camp." And they said, "Woe to us, for nothing like this has happened before." See, these people, they knew God's reputation had gone before him. I mean, again, he did all these amazing things between the periods of the judges, when he brought them out of Israel. With Joshua, he had done all these incredible things. These people knew what they were dealing with. But again, if God's not in it, well, let's keep reading. I mean, actually, maybe I should get to a point where it says, "Woe to us! Who will save us from the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods who struck the Egyptians with all kinds of plagues in the wilderness. Take courage, men. Take courage and be men, Philistines, or you will become slaves to the Hebrews, as they have been slaves to you. So be men and fight." So the Philistines fought, and Israel was defeated, and every man fled to his tent, and the defeat was very great, for 30,000 foot soldiers of Israel fell. Moreover, the ark of God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, died. Gonna wrap it up there because we're coming kind of close. But just, again, they made their own plans. They know how God operated in the past, so they tried to provoke him to act again. They didn't go to God. They didn't follow the instruction. They went off of what he did previously and assumed that it was going to work, and it didn't. So, and now they lost the Ark of the Covenant. So that's like a huge deal. And notice the Philistines didn't acknowledge him as a... I'll stop there.